Hi, everybody.
Oh my gosh, I see so many familiar faces. Hi.
So excited to be here with you all again.
Looking this good doesn't come for free. If you wanna hang with baddies, there's gonna be a fee. We own the VIP. We chugging martinis. We on a Mariah tip. Yeah, skinny. Dior across my shirt. You birdies chirp chirp. Truies on my bum. Your
Get started in
boyfriend's on
just a
the
couple
one.
minutes.
Pop star lifestyle in a hurry. No
There's so many of my favorite people in here. Oh my god.
even little girly, girly, girly.
Yay! Hello, 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 hello. So excited too. Yay. One more minute to let folks roll in before we get started. How's everyone doing today? In the chat, give me a word to 3 words. How are you doing? How are you doing? Okay. Welcome, everyone. Yes, hello, hello, hello. It's so good to see all of your beautiful faces here. I'm really excited to get started, and when I when I created the challenge and really sat with it, and I I just knew that I had to invite Mikayla to be a part of it. It's been really incredible to see you, Mikayla, over the last year plus, like seriously, just like I feel like you just got laser focused. You just like cast your vision, fucking went to work, and like it happened. It was just really cool to see your flourishing. Like as soon as it seemed like you locked in on like your concept and really ran with it. And yeah, the universe just kind of aligned to bless you for following,
Nice.
the following your path and really believing in yourself. And it's really inspiring to me. And you are someone that gets mentioned a lot when I like to ask clients, like, who is someone whose social media presence inspires you, or someone that you look up to and you like how they show up? That gives us a lot of information. You are someone who gets mentioned all the time. So it's like, oh my God, I really feel like we could all learn so much. And I really have loved that you show up like when you want to, or that's what it feels like, at least. Like it feels like you show up in cycles. Sometimes you are showing up all the time. Other times we might not hear from you for days, or I don't know, weeks even. I just feel like you give yourself permission to like emerge, and then you kind of like hide again when you need to like have your privacy. And just I don't know, I almost like see you going back into your like I don't know, again this like Cancerian energy. You're going into your shell and you're like, okay, I'm in my safe space again. And then you emerge, and it's like I just feel like it's not even a problem, and people just catch on that like when you are here, take notice. When I'm not, like maybe people even miss you when you're not around. Yeah, you're just such a brilliant creator, and I feel like you really embody that whole conversation we were having in the kickoff call yesterday around your work really being bigger than you, bringing an identity and a like a thought forward. Like you are a philosopher, a thought leader, and I'm so excited to learn from you
I'm
tonight.
so
Do you want to
excited.
introduce yourself to anyone who might not know
Oh
you or
my
your work?
gosh. Introducing myself is always the hardest thing. So, hi guys. I know a lot of y'all, and I hope to know more of y'all when we get off the call. Um, sorry. I am everything and nothing. I'm what you need me to be. I'm an astrologer, writer, philosopher is the title that resonates most with me. Um, but I'm a lot of things. I like to call myself someone who is fluent in multiple spiritual modalities. And my goal is to weave a fragmented God back into its whole, which looks like showing everybody that we're all doing the same shit. And there's so much to learn about the vastness of God, spirit, the universe, whatever title you want to put on it. I say God a lot, you know, replace it with whatever word you need. Um, how much we can learn about the vastness of God from each other and creating that space where we can hold all of these things that we learned. Like I know so many people who have deconstructed their faith and they've learned all of these things and they're like, okay, well now what? And I'm here to help bridge that gap. Like, okay, now that you've learned all of those, let's learn you and create your own religion. So that's pretty much what I do. And I'm so excited to be here. Capitolia, should I just get started? Or awesome. Okay. Um, it says you're sharing your computer noise and it's like causing a feedback thing. If I don't know
Okay,
if
I
you can
can't. I
turn it
think I
off.
canceled. I got rid of the sound,
Okay.
so I'm not sharing anymore.
Uh,
And we're not, I'm not hearing any feedback on. We're not hearing anything on this end.
hmm, so weird. Testing. I don't know. I'll just turn it down while I talk because I don't assume talking. Testing. Oh my gosh, that's so annoying. I'm just gonna not do that. Okay. So put these up. All right. Hi guys. Like I said, I'm Mikayla Rose. I am I'm logged in twice because I have to like it's whatever. I I don't know. Anyway, I'm so excited to be here because like Capitolia is saying, I am kind of someone who just kind of dips out. I dip in and I dip out. I am a sleepy, inconsistent baddie. I am a Pisces sun, which is already I'm perpetually exhausted. And okay, so I'm a Pisces sun, I'm an Aquarius moon, I'm a Virgo rising. Um, so I'm always exhausted, but I'm also like a perfectionist, which is odd. And I also have a lot of words. And I also have, let me reset my brain. I'm a sleepy baby, I'm inconsistent. I was really excited with this last visibility challenge because I knew that in order to kind of like reach the goals that I needed to reach, I knew that I needed to be bigger. I knew that I needed to take myself more seriously, and I knew that I needed to take Instagram more seriously. And to do that, I had to come out of like my Facebook shell and come to Instagram and actually like really build out my Instagram platform. So I was kind of I really was stuck at like 1,500 followers for a long time. And then I removed like half of my followers and more than half. I got down to like $500, $500, 500 followers, and then I kind of built from there. And so when we started the challenge, I was at like 2,500, and I was kind of lingering in the 2000s for a minute. Um, and I knew that, okay, I have to laser focus. What can I do to grow? When Capitolia posted this, I'm like, I'm focusing on reels. I'm focusing on reels. That is going to be my bread and butter. And honestly, I still think that the best way to have growth on your platforms, I'm gonna try this again because I feel like I can't hear my comments when I'm like hearing everything going on around me. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, yeah, it probably was because I was logged in twice because
Oh, and now we can't hear you that well. It kind of like got muffled. No, we can't really hear you now.
it's fine. Um, Now with that, with growing my Instagram came up a lot of like visibility wounds. So of course, as a Virgo rising, if you guys know astrology, you know that we have Leo in our 12th house. And so for me, Leo in our 12th house has always shown up as like, it's almost like we want to be famous secretly. Like we're okay with being perceived, but we want to be perceived in a way that makes the most sense for us, in a way that doesn't. We want to be perceived the most accurately, if that makes sense. And so I found that a lot of my visibility wounds when it came to this challenge, it wasn't about being seen, which I thought it originally was. You know, when my account first started blowing up, I'm like, oh my gosh, people are perceiving me. But really, it was the fact that I'm being perceived as something that I never cared to be perceived for. I'm kind of just like, I'm giving off the wrong perception, I should say. So, like I said, I'm Pisces Sun, Virgo Moon, Pisces Sun, Aquarius Moon, Virgo Rising. I'm also a projector. I have an open throat, and I also have a third house Chiron. And so for me, my voice is very sensitive. I'm very sensitive. I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. Like that's how I feel when it comes to my voice and my perspective. And the fact that people were misunderstanding my message was really getting to me. And so the first like couple of wounds that was getting triggered was for one, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm like, I just got like really fucking nervous for no reason. One of the visibility ones that got triggered for me was that like I've dealt with like really crazy stuff in my past before when it comes to like internet safety. So like when I'm waking up to literally like being fucking abused on the internet every single day, like, you know, people call you demonic and stuff. You know, like I didn't grow up with stuff like that. Like I didn't grow up with religious trauma. I didn't grow up with, you know, being like shunned or demonized for my beliefs. So like all of this stuff is new to me. All of this like being called out for like my beliefs on the internet and being called a demon and like, oh, I'm evil and I'm going to hell and all of this stuff every single day was just very weird to me and very triggering to me. And honestly, I feel like after this visibility challenge, I hit my 10K goal and I ghosted the internet. And I'm also here to show you that like, it is okay to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I ghosted the internet after what was this? In June of last year, I hit my goal. I ghosted the internet and my account continued to grow to 13K because I built timeless content. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I am so adamant about my reels did my work. Yes, the reels did do your work. And I want you guys to remember while we're kind of having this conversation that, you know, if you don't have anything to say, then don't say anything. Like that was my biggest lesson. like I said, I have an open throat. I have Mercury, Pluto. I had to really recognize that my voice is my superpower. And also for those of you guys who have a Mercury, Pluto, just aspect in your chart, or have just any sensitivities to your voice, and you know that your voice is impactful. And I honestly, I'm not even just gonna limit that to a specific astrology placement. I'm gonna say all of you guys have impactful voices because you're here and you're magicians and you guys know the concept of energy. You guys know that your voice and your words move mountains. And so you have to put some respect on your art and not just say whatever willy-nilly, right? And so when you have this respect for your art, you have this respect for your voice and the things that you have to say and the way that you want to show up, it looks like taking the time to channel the information correctly. It looks like taking the time to build boundaries around your art. Put some respect on your art. No, I literally was deleting videos as I was posting them also during the Size Visibility Challenge, because I was like, this has nothing to do with what I wanted to show up in. And so I'll get to that later. But with all your sensitivity, if you're sensitive to the internet, if you're sensitive to feedback and comments and like, you know, how people are perceiving you, I think that's okay. I am sensitive to that. I'm very sensitive. And so owning that and knowing how your process works and knowing how to kind of like, you know how I always say like when you're doing magic, when you're doing magic, you want to work the blockages and not the solution, right? So it's like, I knew that I could reach 10K. What's blocking me from reaching 10K followers? I'm showing up every single day. These people are making me want to shut down and not show up at all. Okay, how can I create the environment for me to feel safe to show up? So for me, that looks like creating impactful things that allow me to step away, timeless things that allow me to step away, but also creating like master content. And so I want to introduce like this concept, you guys probably have seen me talk about it on social media, like this concept of master content. I think it's something that is very helpful for the inconsistent baddie or somebody who, you know, we're channelers, we're constantly channeling spirit. It helps us not get caught up in the marketplace and what like the echo chamber that social media can sometimes feel like. I'm someone who I like to say, so I have a mountains environment in human design. And I like to say that I like to sit on my mountains and channel all of the information from the gods and then step out, share it with the masses, and then go back to my mountains, you know? And then sometimes it's like, I kind of just want to see what the humans are talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see what's going on in the marketplace today. Sometimes you do have enough understanding, or not understanding, but you do have enough like grounding to be able to say, okay, I'm grounded enough in my spirit, I'm grounded enough in my emotions right now to be able to step forward and kind of like intermingle with people, chat with people, be social. And so I'm sorry I'm skipping around. I literally have like this whole outline in my, like literally right here, and I'm going so off base. The Virgo rising in me likes to plan, and then the Pisces in me takes over. And so just to kind of reel it back in. So impact over volume. So for me, the difference looks like volume is constant output and constant performance. So responding to the algorithm, responding to, you know, what's doing well, kind of like catering yourself to just blessing out content. And you kind of end up saying things that you don't necessarily believe in or mean. I know for me, the first week that I did the visibility challenge last year, I was like, I don't know what to talk about, so I'm just gonna talk about everything. I was also in this like I was in this time period where I was still trying to figure out like how I wanted to position myself. And I just started talking about magic. I talked about glamour magic. I talked about astrology. I talked about meditation. I talked about everything that I knew, and I just kind of waited to see what people would respond to. And when I started getting traction was things around religion and Christianity. So now I'm getting these things are blowing up like crazy, like 100K, 200K. I think there's one right now that's still circulating, which, you know, is good, because it's impactful, right? But it then positioned me as this person who is like shit talking Christianity. And that's never been my MO. That's never been something I stand for. I understand it now that I've been attacked, but I've never been someone who gets on the internet and just shames other people for what they believe in. And it was just a very like I was just very distraught at the perceptions that I was getting, and now my content is now going into debunking the Bible or debunking Christianity or calling out like the harmful things within this, right? And so I had to step back and look at myself and be like, well, why am I getting this reaction? What's going on? Why am I shutting down, right? That Chiron was triggered. And I had to realize that I literally have a YouTube video talking about this where I'm like, I sold my soul for Instagram followers. Like that's how it felt. I knew that the algorithm would really like that. I knew that the algorithm was pushing my deconstructing Christianity content, and it turned into, now I'm perpetuating this exact thing that I don't stand for. I'm perpetuating this hatred and this divisiveness that I do not stand for, and then I'm getting confused at why I'm getting the reactions that I'm getting, or why I'm getting the feedback or the hate speech that I'm getting. And I literally, y'all, I felt like I was going through fucking psychosis. Like, I was in a room like, what is going on? I don't know if I'm ready for this. I don't know if, did I ask the right thing? It was really crazy, but I had to recognize that, no, this is the projection that you give off. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you just have to take things as data. I had to turn on my Aquarius moon and look at everything as data, look at everything like, you know, the feedback that it is, and fine tune my messaging for that. And so anyway, I started off by saying volume over impact and went off. But I can say that when it comes to making impactful, timeless content, it does hit harder. It does turn into something that's like, I want to show up. I want to go out of my way to search this person's page. Like there's some people that are literally like, if you look at my Instagram search bar, I have like 20 people that is like, I check their page like the Daily News. Capitolia is one of them, Bossy Bruja. You know, there's these people, I check their page. I don't care if they show up on my algorithm or not. I'm going to check their page to see if they said something impactful today. And that's kind of how I want to build my brand. And that's how I try to position myself. And that's how I want you guys to position yourself too. Like, do not worry about the algorithm. When you have something, please don't worry about the algorithm. When you have something strong and powerful to say, people will come look for you. I had posted on Threads a while ago that I don't care about an algorithm. I'm building I'm building a archive of my philosophy. That's how you have to look at social media. Social media is somewhat of a landing page for you. This is like where your frequency is emitted. You know, I want you to think of your content as, I'm emitting a frequency, and Capitolia talked about this a bit yesterday. You know, emit a frequency out into the world and let people rise up to it or adjust themselves to it. It's not your responsibility to water down your message. It's not your responsibility to even cater to everybody, right? And I can say, even creating boundaries around that, creating boundaries around emitting a frequency has looked like not having social media apps on my phone anymore, because it's so easy to just wake up and just mindlessly, you know, scroll through your phone, check your notifications. Oh my God, did I blow up yet? Oh my God, I have all these comments. It ruins my nervous system, and so I'm sure it could end up ruining your nervous system too. I'm not saying that you have to delete all of your apps off of your phone, but that's just something that works for me, where I have to delete the apps off of my phone and also lean heavily into scheduling, because then you can focus more on remaining in this frequency instead of constantly like dipping in to see what people are talking about, how people are responding to you, because it doesn't matter. And it doesn't mean like don't ever look at your comments, but maybe create a ritual around it. That's something that I have learned to do. Again, you guys are magical beings. Ritualize everything. That's one of my biggest like philosophies. Like, you don't have to just light a candle or do this crazy elaborate spell work. You can step in and make everything a ritual. So check in with yourself before you open your social media apps and make it a, say, set an intention. You can light the candle and say, you know what, I am grounded, I am safe. My real life is safe. Whatever is happening on these apps, I can close it. Am I okay? Am I in a grounded space? Do I feel sane enough to check these comments for feedback and not just like confirmation? We're not looking for confirmation for strangers on the internet, but we are looking for maybe potential other content strategies. Which does bring me into my next topic, I think, or my next point. I think comments are a great place to find more content ideas, but be okay with not responding immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I think maybe I felt so combative at the time or defensive, that I felt like every time somebody had like something to say, I had to respond immediately. Even if it was a good thing, I just felt like I had to respond immediately. So reactive and so combative. But I found that when I step away, I can actually formulate a fully fleshed out response, which makes for a great video, a standalone video, and a reply to that comment, right? And so making sure that whenever you make content, you are remembering that this has the potential to be somebody's first impression of you, especially right now. We have these For You pages, all of these algorithms. A lot of people don't scroll on their following pages anymore. I'm not necessarily mad at the fact that the algorithm or the feed isn't in chronological order, because if we didn't have an algorithm, we wouldn't have the ability to be discovered. So maybe that's like a mindset shift for you guys, where it's like, oh, I just want to see the people I follow. Yeah, we do, and you can go to the following tab for that, but the algorithm allows you to meet and find new people every day. So, just reframing how you interact with social media, how you go into it. Don't go into it like, oh my gosh, nobody's gonna see me. Oh my gosh, the algorithm hates me. I'm shadow banned. No, just emit your frequency and see how people respond to it, and continue posting and sharing and, opening yourself up to new connections and opportunities. And, it's gonna be great. I feel like posting with that mindset, with the mindset of I'm opening myself up to new connections, has definitely played a part in your account blowing up. I was about to say something. But yeah, just checking in with yourself and making sure that you have some kind of grounded practice before you open your apps, I think has helped me a lot, because, it helps you want to it helps you be able to formulate a whole thought before jumping in and respond. So that's what I was kind of saying about master content. So getting into master content, master content to me is a YouTube, a podcast, a blog, Substack, email, maybe books that you wrote, classes you've taught, even your notes app. Like, I consider things like that to be master content, where you have this fully fleshed out idea. This has been major, like, put a pin in this, because this has been such a major thing for me as a third house Chiron, as an open throat, as a Mercury in Pisces. Like, I always feel like I'm talking through water. And so and with this visibility wound, right? So like, when I am able to fully flesh out an idea from beginning to end, what I feel about it, any like opposition, how I feel about the opposition. Do I still feel the same way now that I have done the research and seen the opposition? When I am allowing myself to build out this master content, I feel like I have like a solid ground to root myself in. And it has helped me with the visibility wound, because even if I am being misperceived, I don't feel like it's something that I did. You know what I mean? Like, I know that I took the time out to really formulate this full thought and channel this information 100% before I distributed it into the masses. And so maybe that's something that can help you as you are, of course, I'm talking about growing Instagram, but whatever platform you're on, as you're growing your socials, and channel the entire frequency first, because it helps you kind of like form bits and pieces from that, and you always have content to go through. Like sometimes I don't have anything to say and I'll like scroll through my own old posts or my own blogs, my own notes app, and suddenly I have so much to say, which is like how I posted like 3 things today, um, which were kind of like different angles of the same thing, but a lot of that stuff was old content. It was old things that I wrote in my notes app. It's an old blog post. It's the introduction to the book that I've been writing for 3 years. And I just kind of took that and made 3 different reels from it, and it was just so easy and it just came so naturally, right? Tomorrow I might not feel like saying anything at all, and that's okay because now I have these 3 posts up to let simmer. So and to summarize that, like I want you guys to think your master content is the source, it is the channel, it's how you fully flesh out this frequency. This is your master project, this is your album, this is your era, right? And then you're like a publishing company or like a media company, and social media is how you distribute that, so think of it that way. And so I keep losing my train of thought. Like I feel like there's so much to say. There's so much that I can say about growing on Instagram. So the way that I like to do my reels is like I like having like one kind of like long reel that is like the whole thing, like kind of like a mini master content where I take the master content and I'm like summarizing all of the points that I made in that, and then I can take that and break it down even more. But I know even sometimes that can feel like a lot, but I definitely like having something to reference. And if you are not using not the transcription, the teleprompter, and Edits has a teleprompter and CapCut has a teleprompter, if you are not using those, you are missing out. I like the Edits teleprompter a little bit more because there's no character limit, versus CapCut has a character limit. So I literally can yap and yap and yap and yap and yap, and people are like, "Oh my God, you're so articulate," and it's like, this is scripted. There is still like some personality. So the way that I like to script my reels, I'll literally just have my I'll have my voice memo out, right? And I will kind of so as a Mercury and Pisces, sometimes I have to say things over and over for it to make sense. And so I'll literally just kind of like say sentences. Sometimes I'll just say like the overall flow. Like I kind of want to start by saying this. I want to say this, that, this, and that. So maybe I could say something like this is literally me talking to my phone, right? Maybe I could say something like, whatever. Like I'm literally just talking in the way that I talk. And then the transcription feature on the voice memos, godsend, I copy and paste that, clean it up because it's already in my tone and cadence. You know what I mean? Versus like something else giving you a script and now you're reading it and it doesn't sound natural. Like I don't clean it up all the way. I just clean it up while I'm editing myself. Like I'm editing myself out loud, or like how I would say something to a friend. And then I would copy and paste the final version into the teleprompter, and I just talk to the camera. Sometimes I'll like paraphrase. I literally have the teleprompter move slow enough to like read it before I say it. And then, of course, Edits will automatically remove silences for you. So there will be times where I'm like saying an entire paragraph and then I'm just sitting there for 30 seconds, like waiting for the teleprompter to fill up the screen so that I can read it and then be like, okay, how do I want to say this? And do I want to add extra things? So that's definitely been helpful. Also in formulating your reels, so the first 3 seconds really does matter. I know everybody hears about a hook, but it's like, no, it really does matter. So it can be a visual hook. It can be, the thing that I've really enjoyed doing, it's like something really controversial or like really on Brahm, what kind of word is that? Really controversial or like really, like a trending topic at the moment. I don't even know what the other word was I was trying to say. Anyway, and then go into why, right? So it's like, if I was like a tarot reader, or I am a tarot reader, but if I was talking about tarot, I'd be like, you're reading tarot all wrong. let me explain why, you know? So try to say something that will like really capture someone's attention, and really get into the mind of the audience. So like the reel that I posted today that's already kind of going viral, I was like, um, it's funny when people think we're worshiping the universe. We're not worshiping the universe, you know? So the people who do say the universe, they're like, yeah, let's like, you know, people identify with that. And then the people who will say stuff like, why are you worshiping the universe? They're also catching it catches their attention too. But luckily, this time around, I'm not really getting too many. I don't really get too many hate comments anymore. Like the past 3 months, I haven't really gotten any hate comments, which is good. But anyway, something that's really attention grabbing. Another thing that I think really helps, because that's just a basic reel structure. I mean, you guys know how to record videos. With the transcriber is really cool. I just try to have like a really strong hook and then an explanation and then a final like motivational sentence. But your formula is going to be your formula. The most important thing is to have a really strong hook, both verbally and on the screen. So like the text on the screen should be something attention grabbing. And outside of that, I do think having something that is your thing absolutely helps. So I'm not saying you have to sit up and like, even if you don't want to script your videos, like some people, they just open their camera and they just talk, and that's fine. I think there's a way to have a hook naturally too, like still follow the same punchy, like attention grabbing hook and then go into just talking about whatever you want to talk about. I find that works really well on TikTok. Like TikTok does not like the polished, good lighting, teleprompter kind of. I still post that stuff over there, but it does not do well. It does. I got my TikTok monetized in like 3 days because I just talked to it like I was talking to like a friend or like on FaceTime. How do y'all figure out what hooks to say? When I'm fleshing out my entire thought, like when I'm using the teleprompter and I'm talking, I'm like, what is the most controversial part of this? Like, what is the overarching opinion that I have about what I'm talking about? You know, like you are God. That was my hook. You know, where people be like, I'm God. What does that mean? Let me listen a little bit more. You know. And then you can go in and explain, or you know, we're not worshiping the universe. That's a hook, and then I'm going in and explaining. One of my first reels that went viral was like this like minister or whatever, and I was like, oh, he's an astrologer. Joshua Giles is an astrologer. I mean, not to name drop, but that was the hook, and people are like, what? You know, like. Well, I don't know who this guy is, but let me listen. Or I do know who this guy is. Let me listen and defend and jump to defend him. Like it's a controversial take. And then you kind of go in and explain it all the way through. But yeah, that's the easiest way for me to find a hook. But, you know, going back to what I was saying, I think having something that is your thing and it's consistently your thing helps. So if you look on my page, so the way that I try to do I resonate with the disruptor archetype? I resonate with the disruptor archetype, but I reject the disruptor archetype. As Aquarian as I am, I like never get that in my quiz results either. And sometimes I'll be wanting it, but I do resonate with the disruptor archetype, but I want it to be like, I don't like people like yelling at me. I have like this fear of like being burnt at the stake. So I reject the archetype. So I try to like say it palatable. I try to lean more towards hope, like, oh, this is how I see the world, how I want the world to be, versus like, y'all doing everything wrong, you know? But I think both sides help. I think they're both like two sides of the same coin. But I think having something that you do every single time helps. If you look on my page, the way that I've been doing my content now is like, I'll leave my reels up on we can do both. On my feed for 24 hours, and then I'll remove my reels from my feed because I kind of want my static feed to be more intentional in the essence of like I'm overtly promoting my offers here. Like, this is what I do, this is what I sell, go buy it. That's how I keep my feed. It's very curated. I like to make my feed feel like a safe space to land. And then if you swipe to my reels tab, all of my reels have like the same font. Like all of my reels are like this. They have the font over my head. It's the same font. And then they have the captions. Always use captions. Always use the captions. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm I'm like such a tech baby. I'm Gen Z. I am a product of my generation. But I think having a cohesive vibe helps with the growth because when people find your reels, they're gonna see your reels on the explore page or on someone's, story. And I know for me, when I click on someone's reel and I go to their page and it looks a mess, I'm like, and I'm not saying it has to like follow like a specific pattern or, it doesn't even have to follow like a specific color scheme. Well, I think I'll take that back. I think a color scheme helps, but I think just having something, just making it clean. Like if you post threads, post all like just resharing, just making sure that it fits the dimensions of the portrait, or like just making sure everything. It's hard to explain because I don't feel like everybody has to have like a particular pattern, but it can just be like screenshot, 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 or it could just be reels, reels, reels. You can just only post reels and you have the same font, in the same kind of like angle, and I think that's enough. But when I click on people's page and their page looks chaotic, I'm like, I don't know what you do. I'm overstimulated. I'm getting off here. Yeah, it's how people recognize you. When people come to your page, it should feel like something. And this is something that I learned kind of like back when I was doing like makeup influencing. Oh, I completely forgot to say all of this. So I used to be a makeup influencer, and that was the first time I really went viral. And I also had really like weird experiences on the internet, which is why I have a lot of these visibility wounds. And I would like shut down, like every time I grew my account, I would like delete all of them. Anyway, I say that to say, it really taught me how to create like a vibe on your page because people want to see, they want to learn more, even if immediately they don't understand what you do. It's like, oh, I landed somewhere that looks really cool, let me kind of go through their content and see what they're talking about. So I want you to also keep that in mind. I can say, I don't know if this is gonna sound shady or not. I don't mean it to sound shady, but like I think Captolia does like chaos really well, like organized chaos. I don't mean that shady at all. Like when you go to Captolia's page, it's the same colors. She doesn't even use the same font though. Like it's not the same shade of purple. It's not the same font, but it's somehow like it somehow is all cohesive. So I say that to say it doesn't have to be like picture quote, picture quote, picture quote, even that might be your thing. It can be just a color, you know. So yeah, so I like having my feed one cohesive thing, same fonts on that, and then my Reels page one cohesive thing, same fonts, and that they can be different fonts, but I like to have both of them look like something. I think that helps a lot. So with the low energy, I want you guys to think of like maybe like 4 different tiers of how much energy you have, because that has helped me also. So like there are some days that I feel really good. Like today I put on makeup. I was like, I'm about to record a bunch of videos because I feel good and I have a lot to say, you know? And I just recorded a bunch of reels. I posted all 3 of them. I have some others that I may or may not post because I feel like when you don't post them, when you're excited, it like, I don't know, it like interferes. I feel like posting them when you're excited really does help the magic. So if you recorded a bunch of reels that same day and you want to post them all, post them all. It really doesn't matter. Like I feel like people saying like, oh, when you post too much, it blocks. It's I don't know what people say, but I don't feel like that's true because so with Instagram, they need signals to know who to push your content to. So when you're talking about the same thing from like different angles, it's like, oh, they keep using these same keywords, whether verbally or in the caption or on the screen. So we're learning about you, but we're also learning about your audience. So I feel like posting multiple times tells the algorithm, hey, pay attention to me. I'm saying something important and people are interacting with it. If you don't want to post them all in one day, you can always schedule them out, of course, but I never had an issue posting them all in one day. I actually feel like that works better for me because I'm literally sitting there like, I want to post this right now. Like I really like this. And if I don't post it right now, the excitement is gonna wear off and I'm gonna start nitpicking it and I'm gonna get in my head, you know, so just post it. So that's like level 1. Like I feel great. I have a lot of energy. Let me just get dressed and just record all the things. Level two is like, I'm kind of tired, but I can post. Um, I have loved memes. Captolia has gotten me really comfortable with the jester energy because I'm a sage. So like at first, so I've had like jester type reels go viral, which was like those pop astrology, like random reels. And it actually pissed me off because y'all think y'all about to come here and get these like funny astrology videos. No, that's not what I do. We don't do that here. But Captolia reminded me that jester energy is just another side of the same coin of the sage. And on the wheel, they're actually opposites. And it's just another way for you to get your lesson or your message across, right? And so when I don't have any energy to record reels, I'll just do a meme dump. I'll either go to Pinterest, find a bunch of random pictures, and then put like random quotes on them. Not random quotes, they still fit my mission, or sometimes I'll like pull quotes from my reels or pull quotes from, you know how I was talking about master content, I'll pull quotes from like a blog or whatever and post different like quotes and affirmations and like meme like phrases onto the picture. And then the last slide, I'll put what I want them to go to. So like if it's a blog post or if it's an offer, I'll like screenshot that and put it on the last post. That has worked really well for me. So when I want like a new boom on my page, I'll do like a meme dump. What you want to keep in mind is like highly shareable things, right? So even with your reels, with your like meme dumps, with the stuff on your page, you want people to be like, oh, this is funny, I'm gonna share this. That blows up your page so fast. And when I don't feel like doing like pictures, sometimes I'll just use like a black screen and the quotes itself on the black screen. That works as well. The last time I posted like a meme dump, I had like 40,000 views. Versus like on my static feed, I usually get like maybe 2,000, 3,000 views. Every time I post a meme dump, I'll get tens of thousands of views. So it's a really good way to share your personality, bring some fun to your page, and show your methodology or your framework or your perspective on life through like something that's really relational. You want people to share your stuff, share and save your stuff. Screenshot old content. So again, we're in level 2. I'm tired, but I can post. I don't feel like being on camera, but I can post. Meme dumps, quote dumps, and screenshotting your old posts and post it. That also helps a lot too. Level 3 is like, I'm depleted. I like doing, for one, you can just let your content cook. Let it cook, let it simmer. But I also like doing reviews and testimonial dumps, especially as somebody who is a projector. It's easy for me to talk about all the great things that I do, but it's even better when I can show what other people have said that I do. Like how other people feel impacted by my work. And so sometimes I'll like go on Facebook and I'm like, hey, why do y'all follow me? Leave comments. And I'll screenshot all the comments and then I'll make a carousel like, oh, here's what people have to say about me. I literally had that used to be my pinned page post. Stuff like that really works well. And every time I post a review dump, even if it's not like for a particular service, even if it's just you and why people like you, every time I post a review dump, a testimonial dump, a feedback dump, I get sales. So, because it's like, for me personally, I'm not posting on the internet just to post. Like, I need y'all to go spend some money. So, just thinking of things that convert. That's always a good thing to do when you're depleted. And level 4 is when you're like, I can't post, but I can be social. I don't have no energy, but I'm laying in bed and I can doom scroll. Okay, be intentional with that doom scroll. So respond to stories. You like really respond to them. You know how like sometimes you see like the first, you only see like the same 8 people every day in your stories, right? Sometimes I'll literally just scroll through and go to like the people that I never talked to. And I'm like, what are they talking about? What's on their page? I'm going to go interact with them and like actually have a genuine conversation in our DMs. I find that also, of course it boosts your algorithm, but we want to build community. We want to build people who, you're familiar with their names. And when their comments pop up, you go out of your way to talk to them and you go out of your way to respond to them. Like people like feeling like they're not just a number, you know, yeah, we want to build a following or, you know, whatever, but they want it's social media. They want us to be social. They want us to build connections. They want us to um, have other people feel seen. They want us to build community. And I like when people don't make me just feel like a number. I can say as your account gets bigger, you will detach, kind of like how I was saying, I don't have the apps on my phone anymore. So it can be hard for me to feel like I'm being social enough. And so when you do have that kind of like intentional day where it's like, it's fine. I don't have to respond to every comment or whatever as it's happening because I know that I have a day that I just go or an hour, you know, before you go to bed or whatever. I know that I have a specific intentional time where I show up and respond to comments, respond to story replies, reply to other people's stories, really engage with my community. And I will say also, I wrote like about glamour magic in my little outline thing here. I can say that for me, glamour magic has become a sort of productivity hack, which I feel should be true for everyone, right? Like when you look good, you feel good, you want to be seen. So even on the days that I don't have energy and I know that I want to show up, like this time around, I'm going to try to make it an effort to show up more consistently. Um, Maybe, but I do know that when I get dressed and I even just do a little brow, a little lip, I feel more comfortable showing up. So maybe even just making that a part of your ritual, like every single day I'm going to get up, I'm going to look presentable, and whatever comes from that, right? And even I found that like while I'm doing my makeup or getting dressed or whatever, that is a deeply meditative time for me where I do get ideas. Even if I had nothing to say when I first started, I get so many ideas, so many downloads because it's like your brain kind of goes into, you know, a meditative state. I feel the same way like about cleaning. Like when I'm cleaning up, I get so many messages. And so I've kind of just like worked with it, you know, like you know what puts you in a meditative state, if it's going for a walk or if it's just brushing your hair, you know, look like something. And then even if you don't feel like making reels, you can post like a story post, and making your first story post a picture of you really helps your views also, and then you can sell stuff in your stories. And so when you don't feel like showing up at all, I find that like posting story posts and to-do lists and stuff onto your story is also a really great way to engage your community. Like not every day is a signal frequency emitting day. Not every day is a content day. Sometimes it's literally just a community day. Sometimes it's a I'm taking a break, I'm turning my phone off day. It's gotten to a point where, so like on Scorpio moons, I literally die and I don't talk to anybody for a few days. And my following now knows like, oh, it's a Scorpio moon. Like Mikayla's not gonna, she's not available. And then they'll literally like DM me and be like, hey girl, I'm just checking in on you, miss you. Like literally during Scorpio moons, they'll do that now because I've kind of like built up that repertoire with people, you know? And it's just fun. It's funny. Like you have all of these little ways that people kind of like get to know you, and they know about Scorpio moons for me because I've posted memes about it, like me during Scorpio moons, laying on the ground, dead, talking to demons, you know? So all of those things come together. I don't want to like overwhelm you guys. I know that I said a lot. My biggest thing, my biggest warning for you guys during this challenge that I had to absolutely learn from is to not let other people tell you who you are, and don't let your algorithm pull you off the mission. Remember your mission. Sometimes, of course, you're going to have days that you're going to kind of just say whatever because you're fine tuning your message, you're fine tuning your voice, you're fine tuning what your mission even is. But it's so easy for people who are sensitive to other people's energy. I mean, I'm a 7th house stellium and a Pisces and a projector. I feel like I'm constantly like falling into other people's, what other people have morphed me into. And it can be very easy to veer off path and morph into that. And so being mindful of how easily it can be to kind of veer off, and just approaching social media from a very grounded place and asking yourself, how can I tie this back into my mission and what I'm talking about? Does this resonate with me? You know, recognize when you're in a great nervous system space to be able to communicate effectively and go through your comments for content ideas. And also remember, like, because I have like this big fear of like getting doxxed or whatever. And it's funny because it has happened before and it actually wasn't the end of the world. And I'm sure Keptolia can also attest, like, it wasn't the end of the world. It does feel scary when you like hurt somebody's feelings unintentionally and they go so far to like try to destroy you. But it's like in real life, when you look around, it's like, oh, I'm okay. Like sometimes I have to look around and be like I'm literally in Malaysia right now, you know? And it's like, no matter how many people are attacking me on the internet, I'm in fucking Asia with the love of my life. Like, my life is really good. And sometimes you just have to like step out of the fucking vortex, the matrix, and be like, I have a really great life. There's nothing going on. There's nothing wrong. So just remember, like, touch grass. When you start getting too caught up in the numbers and stuff and the projections, just remember, literally touch grass. I'm not even trying to be funny. So impact over volume. I would say choose a theme for the week and just talk about that ad nauseum. Like, repeat yourself, repeat yourself, repeat yourself. Make one master content. I think this is the best way to make one piece of master content, whether it's a blog post, a podcast, whatever, and then commit yourself to like repurposing that. I think that is the easiest way to not get caught up in the noise of the internet. And my mantra is pimp the algorithm, don't let it pimp you. Do not sell your soul for Instagram followers like I did. I saw somebody say, can we go back to not having the apps on your phone? Yeah, I don't have the apps on my phone at all. That was weird. I don't have the apps on my phone because I have them all on my iPad. I might end up downloading them again. I don't know. The only downside of not having the apps on my phone is I can't post the stories as freely as I would like. So I'm probably gonna end up downloading it again on my phone. But I don't have them on my phone because I know how I am and I know that I have no fucking self-control. I have no self-control. So I leave them on my iPad and just kind of leave things for like work is work, like social media is work to be, and just trying to spend more time in my real life and not scrolling and seeing how people are reacting to me and how, you know, how things are blowing up or how people are receiving, you know, like that's a boundary I personally have to have. If you have self-control, please be better than me. I just know I have no fucking self-control. Any questions, y'all? I'm sorry that I was like rambling and stuff and like super fucking nervous. I got better at the end. I'm not really nervous anymore, but oh my gosh, thank you. I absolutely post and log off right away, absolutely. But sometimes there's that natural, I want to see what's going on, you know, like I want to. So sometimes I'll post and I'll walk away and then I'll be like, I wonder how my reel's doing. And then I go back to my iPad and I'm like, it's doing well. So I do post and walk away, but sometimes, you know, I'm human. I love to see feedback as we all do. So sometimes I am worse. I'm not as great as I would like to be with that boundary, but lately it's been good. Like I think after I went through like this whole like I'm posting anti-Christianity stuff and being called a demon all the time, and I went through that and I've sat with myself and I was like, so what is your message? What are you embodying? I think after that it helped me refine my message enough for me to naturally attract the people that I'm trying to attract because I'm rooted in a frequency. It's kind of like when you are like, I don't know, this is like a funny comparison, but when you're like dressed up and like men don't approach you, it kind of feels like that, where it's like I remember my guy friends was like, it's because you look like you got something going on. It's like, yeah, it's like a male repellent when you are emitting a specific frequency. I feel like that's how social media has been to me. I get random comments here and there about like, I've kind of just learned to play with them, you know, like when I do get those random demonic hate comments, I'll be like, ooga booga booga, ave satanas. Like it's just funny to me now because it's like you don't get it, and I'm not about to force you to, you know. But it has absolutely changed since really refining what it is that I stand for and how I want to show up and who I'm deciding to give my energy to. I think that also plays a part, like you're gonna get hate comments, but why are those? I remember asking myself, like, why are these only comments that you're engaging with? Like there's people who are hyping you up and are saying that they love your content, they love your voice, and please talk more, make more content. And it's like I'm just liking those comments. But when somebody has something negative to say, I'm jumping to argue with them. You're placing your energy in the wrong area. And, you have to check yourself with that. But I don't get too much of that anymore. Um, I'm glad it was helpful. I've deleted the app so many times, but also go back to it to post stories. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like sometimes I'll go in and re-download it and then delete it. I remember Chloe Bailey, like from Chloe and Halle. She said that she'll download the app, post, and then delete the app again so that she's not scrolling. So I just think it's funny. We all have like our own little boundaries. I also just have fun connecting and being silly on the apps. Connecting, sharing, engaging, naturally fun for me. But I'm working to separate work time from fun time. No, I have been the same way. I think making it a ritual of just like showing up and kikiing with your audience. Like once I saw it that way, and somebody said that in our last visibility challenge, they were like, I'm just making it a ritual of showing up and having fun with the people that follow me. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, you know what? Hell yeah. Like just looking at it from that perspective, like I'm showing up to talk to the people that have invested their energy in me and it's fun. Like sometimes you just want to joke with your audience and I think that's a really good way to look at it. Like I'm not just on here um, on a stage and everybody's staring at me. No, I'm in here emitting a frequency and bringing people into my world. Especially so since I have that third house Chiron, I kind of feel like in my real life, I felt like nobody cares what I have to say, or like I'm too deep for people. It's in Scorpio. I'm too deep for people. And on the internet, it's like I'm allowed to be deep. I've created like this world where I'm allowed to be deep. I'm allowed to talk when I feel like talking and what I want to talk about. And it allows those people to, to come to me and be like, oh my gosh, you're saying things. My favorite compliment is when people are like, you're putting into words things that I never knew how to say. And it's like, oh my gosh, really? Because I feel like I'm not making sense. This is so affirmative. So you get to like attract the people that you really want in your tribe. And I literally have met so many amazing people on the internet to the point like they're my real life friends now. And that's because the internet gives us a space to be able to talk about whatever it is that we want to talk about, whatever we're passionate about, and meet people within that same, that same vibe. My friends are bored as fuck with me talking about branding, business, archetypes, social media, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to nerd out on this with people and they like it. Yes, literally, that's how I feel talking about like religion and God and tarot and astrology and all the things. I'm like, this is so cool. Y'all don't talk about this okay. Well, I'm gonna talk about this with my people, you know? Do y'all have any other questions or any concerns or want any tips or anything? I hope you guys liked it. Again, I'm sorry that it started off really rocky.
Oh my God,
I feel like once I got in the flow, it was so much easier. I just had to like get there. But no, this was really fun. Oh my gosh, I'm glad you liked it. I hope you guys just do the thing that scares you. Seriously, like just do the thing that scares you and show up anyway. You know, just try. You're never going to be prepared enough to you're never gonna be able to over prepare to the point that it prevents you from like getting whatever negative reaction you may think you're going to get. So just do it and then trust that you have enough knowledge and power to handle whatever is thrown at you. And everything will be okay. And we're here. So if you need us to jump on people in the comments, put it in the Telegram group and we got your back.
oh, I didn't realize I was unmuted while I was laughing. I feel like your jester energy, like you like really activate when you're like give yourself that permission to be jester. It's so cute. It's so fun. I love it. Thank you so much for this. This is so good. And like I feel like there's a time and a place for, the like perfect presentation, but I have experienced over and over and over again like like where people will respond to something random you fucking said at some point that you're like, I was talking about nothing. Like, you're like, oh, I'm rambling. I'm just like saying, you're just talking. And that's actually the most important piece that people remember and like grab onto. So I just feel like your transmission was perfection here. And we were
No, there
all
literally was
very
like a meme I made
blessed.
about like Aisha Curry that went viral, and I'm like, why the fuck? Why is this? Why is this the thing that went viral? Like I got so mad, but it's like there's something you kind of have to, get over. It's like this is not what I talk about. I just made like a random shit post, just randomly dumping my thoughts, and y'all, and I mean, it went crazy viral. Like so, it was reposted on Spiritual Word and like the Shade Room, and I was like, why y'all don't do this when I'm talking about God? Why I only do this when I'm talking about celebrities? But it's just funny and it does bring new eyes. And just remember that like all new eyes are good new eyes, no matter how they got there, you know?
Oh my God. Okay. I love this so much. I was just like, you're making me think about one of my friends the other day. Like we were at this event and I don't know, he's being dumb. He like yelled, this is not funny. He yelled fire and wasn't funny, but I was like, why did you do that? And then he's an Aquarius and I was talking to his partner and she was like, I don't know. He just like loves attention, like bad attention, negative attention, positive attention. Uh, just loves all eyes on me, regardless of in which direction. And it also is just making me think of I saw this reel of this man, and he was like, if you don't have haters, you are like you're doing yourself a disservice because they're giving you a gift. Like you can that attention, you can harness it and like turn it into anything. Like you can take the haterade, you can channel that into more content. Like I know for myself, like when I started, I don't really think I have haters, not like visceral ones at least, like not ones in my face anymore, but like when I was experiencing like having, hater energy in my direction, it was like it was fueling in a way. Like I feel like there is a way to just like you're like, ah yes, I'm actually soaking it all in and like letting this like evil energy turn you into some like Cruella like villain. I mean, yeah, like check out Lex Devour's work too. Like that villain energy essence, I feel like, yeah, just own it. You're like, yeah, I am a demon, aren't I? I am a demon worshiping, like, whatever they might say that I am. I am all of these things. And I just feel like those eyes on you, like, yeah, wherever anybody finds you, like, and whatever they're giving towards you, it's okay. Like, I feel, again, like, I turned having haters into a new content pillar where I was like, I'm now talk about haters as a content pillar. This is like something you can expect from engaging with my content. So I'm like, you thought you got me, but you just gave me more content. Like, I think that's part of it too. Like, is just, yeah, like take turning anything into opportunity. Like you can literally turn anything into opportunity. And that's kind of that magician archetype magic. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I didn't mean to just like jump onto what you're saying. And
Oh my gosh, no, I love that. We always are like vibing. So I love that. And I'm also like going through the comments or the chat and I'm just like so entertained. No, this was great. Thank you guys so much for like all the amazing energy. And I'm glad, things resonated in my rambling and my me wanting to fucking die during that last visibility challenge because no, literally I was like, oh my God, my account is growing like fast. Oh my God. It was just after a while it's like, oh, okay, it's not that bad. Like everything bad that you think could possibly happen, you're gonna get through it and be like, oh, it's not that bad. So do your big one.
oh, one thing you said earlier too that made me think, I think it was like Luna from Pussy Witch, like uh she posted something that really like hit with me. She asked like who are you talking to in your content? Like are you like taking every day to talk to your haters or your perceived haters and doubters? Like all your content is like a clapback at an imaginary
Right.
audience, or they're real. And I was like realizing that I was doing that. I was like, I'm trying to defend myself in every post. I'm trying
And
to
it's like
fight back.
prematurely, you know?
Totally.
Like nobody might have even been thinking about you in that way. But now that you're giving off this perception, it's like, especially as projectors, now that you're giving this off, now people are looking at you like, oh, well, maybe she's always in drama, or like maybe she, like, why the fuck does she have so many haters? What's going on with her? I don't like her. She's always in drama. Like, you never know how people are perceiving you. You know, I even had to deal with that, like with, I know this is like a completely different topic, but I had to deal with that even with like pricing. You know, it's like I'm thinking that I'm doing something to be accessible or like super, I remember you talked about this the other day too about like being like the savior thing. And it's like you're almost positioning yourself as somebody who is like inexperienced or doesn't take yourself seriously. Like there's all of these projections that you do and you think you're doing something like really well or like catering to a specific thing. And it actually is doing the opposite. So it's just very interesting to watch.
And if no one has any question, does anyone have anything like I would love to invite other folks to practice visibility right now too. And maybe there's something that's just coming up for you that you want to share or advice that you even want to give around some of these topics that we've been talking about. I know many of you are like really experienced creators who've been doing this for a while. Maybe you're also brand new and you're like, actually, I have something to fucking contribute too. I would love to give other folks a space to contribute your own genius. If you feel called to, raise your hand.
Yes. I was looking at Melissa's comments. I wonder how many projectors are in here because I feel like this is something we deal with, strong reactions to us. Even like people with like strong Leo placement, strong Pluto, like Pluto on an angle, or even like five lines. It's just so we always are dealing with projections. And it's actually kind of interesting, like it's kind of fun, but we just have to make sure. Like sometimes it's fun to play into. I'm also I'm a 5-1 projector. It's fun to play into sometimes because it's like, well, this is also kind of a form of glamour magic, but you also can like absorb that and internalize it, and it gets really finicky. If you also like, if you guys don't want to say anything, I would love to hear like the biggest thing that you took away from this. Or one thing that you're going to implement, you know, because I know I said a lot. So just like one little thing that you're going to implement in your content. Build bigger pieces of content first. Yes, that's also a big thing. Oh my gosh, not to ramble. This is a huge thing that I want you guys to keep in mind when it comes to Uranus and Gemini. There's going to be so many different people, as well as like Saturn and Aries. There's going to be so many people stepping up into like these authoritative roles. Everybody's a tarot reader. Everybody's an astrologer. Everybody is everything, right? So how do you set yourself apart when it comes to, you know, just solidifying your authority? You create these like timeless pieces of work, this master content. Really, I want everybody to write a book, but if it's not a book, something that people can constantly reference, whether it's an album or a piece of art, you know, a blog, a YouTube channel, like something that really does show that archive of your philosophy, I think is really going to be important for us moving into like this next era of new leaders rising up. And, you know, because like I did content on this before and I want to do more on it, but it's like when you look at people who have impact on a grand scale or just things that have impact on a grand scale, they're just books that went viral, like the Bible, the Quran, all of those things. They're just books that went viral. Or people who aren't religious, they have stupid shit like 48 Laws of Power or like The Secret, The Alchemist. Like they have all of it's always a movie or it's an album where people are like, oh, that changed my life. There's some kind of body of work that people root their morality in or root their outlook on life in. And so I want you guys to start thinking about yourself and your positioning like that. Like, I am an artist, I'm a creator. This just happens to be how I channel spirit. Like, I'm an astrologer, but that's not my philosophy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you guys to start thinking about what is your philosophy. If you had to name your frameworks or had to name your positioning or name your religion that you're creating or how you read astrology or how you read tarot, start thinking of yourself like that and sharing your perspective like that. And that can also help with your content, but I just want everybody to really step into their leadership roles and because money is moving, money is changing, but it's not depleting, but it is looking for new ways to distribute itself, and what it wants is to contribute to a new era, a new society, and you play a part in that. And you can play a part in that by taking yourself and your art seriously. Put some respect on your art. I'm gonna keep saying that over the next few years. Taking yourself seriously and making those bodies of work, which can be master content, which turn into smaller content, which turn into going viral. But Finn, rant over. I just really wanted to emphasize that, and I'm gonna keep emphasizing that. Y'all gonna keep hearing me say that over the next few years because it's so important. Your framework is too big for a 60-second reel. Absolutely. It needs to be where others can find you. Yes. Archive of philosophy. Yes. Hook. Not sure how you can implement it because I'm talking about kisses. Like literal kisses? Like French kiss? Like mwah? Like Kim, I want to know more about that. Yes, Sam. You are holding an archetype of God that you are representing, right? So it's like it doesn't matter how people respond to you, you have to hold strong in that archetype of God that you are.
Can I tap in
As is your
with a
publishing
quote with
company.
a comment
Yes.
to
I love
Kim?
all of these.
Kim, for yours, like Kim's Instagram is the lipstick witch, and I've always
Oh,
felt
yes,
like
I follow you.
yeah,
Ah, sorry, I didn't recognize that was you. Yes, I follow the lipstick witch.
yeah, I feel like with it's like the lip prints are the service, but that is not like all of you. I remember when I met Kim in LA and we like sat around a poolside having a consultation, and I remember we were talking about all of these other pieces of like your interest and like, like body positivity and like confidence and this like other bigger part of your work. I think that is what will come through and really resonate with people where it's like the lip print is what you're selling, but like the other part is like what gets people intrigued. So I always say it's like where I'm like it's like yeah, I'm selling business coaching or marketing strategy or whatever, but like people are jumping into my world because of the activation into their authenticity and like getting getting like the permission slip to take up space and like giving themselves room to exist and also giving themselves room to like thrive with money and things. And the train is like, yes. I don't know if you could hear the train going off. So it's like I would like explore the deeper stuff that's like underneath the surface of what you're doing and lead with that more of that and like how that connects to the lip print offerings to create that like movement. And I think maybe you already said this too, Michaela, like as social media shifts and changes, like people want to support and follow people who are like speaking to their values and speaking to their heart and like what they're interested in. And the whole algorithm is literally shifting right now to be around interests. Like Adam Monser or whatever, he said he was inspired by seeing people on threads where there was that trend going around of like algorithms send me, people who are blank, send me witchcraft, send me this, like send me what I'm interested in. So the Instagram algorithm has shifted to where like if you're interested in dogs, you're getting fucking dog content. Like I know the algorithm is moving more quickly where it's like I liked one dog video, now I'm getting dog content.
Yes.
And that's where it's like you have to tap into the mind of like your person is probably not personally interested in the readings necessarily. That's like the secondary thing once they find the creator that is speaking to their interest in, some other things. So I would think about like, yeah, what are your people really interested in? What are they like sitting around liking? What are they talking to their friends about? Like what's on their heart? What are they interested in? And then lean into that more. And this, for anybody.
Yes. Even what you needed when you first started. Like a lot of my content, I'm literally talking to myself, or I'm giving myself like some kind of encouragement, or I'm talking to my younger self who was confused and how do all of these things make sense, but none of them make sense together. And like I'm talking to her, I'm thinking of little Kayla in my content. So think of your inner child and I think it gets a lot easier when you do that, when you're your own ideal client in a past life. I know a lot of us have the issue of figuring out how to bridge all the things that move us and make it cohesive. Yeah, that's my big thing. I think learning your particular energy is so important so that you can kind of integrate. So encounter, the word encounter has been like such a huge word for me lately, where it's like you know your energy, you know what you're rooted in. So then everything that you interact with just informs what you feel about yourself, even if you don't necessarily agree with it or you're not. It doesn't become your North Star. I think the same thing like about deities. I think the same thing about like just people that you just don't like or conflict or shadows or whatever. Like I think all of the encounters that we have inform us more about our own self. And so that's kind of like how I try to cater my content. Like, what is this teaching you about the archetype of God that you are and how you can show up better as that, not somebody else's God or not somebody else's perception of it, but show up better as how spirit literally manifested itself through you. Otherwise, my ADHD nature will go crazy for a few months and then remember what I was actually talking about. No, that's literally how I've been feeling. And I have Gemini in the 10th house, so I feel like sometimes Gemini in the 10th house can come off as chaotic, which is why, like, I know in a previous call we've had Capitolia in the coven. I'm like, how do y'all perceive me? What do y'all see when y'all looking? Because I'm like, I'm always like, do I look scattered? And I think when you have like that thing that and all of you have something that finds like that common ground with what you're talking about. And I think once you are able to really see that and articulate it, you see how everything that you're talking about comes back to that. I know, I don't know if Alejandra is still in here, but with Alejandra, it's love, right? So everything can come back to love. With Lex Devour, it's being a villain, but it's also personal branding, and like how those go back hand in hand. She's always talking about stuff. That tie back to that. With me, it's literally just making God make sense. So I could talk about religion and astrology and all these things and bring it back to that. So there's always something underlying all of your interests that allows you the freedom to talk about all of your interests and not feel like you're all over the place or being scattered, and let yourself be human enough to do that. Finn.
Beautiful.
I have to go, and I'm sure you do too,
No,
Michaela.
you're fine. Yeah,
What
you
time
know
is
we can chat.
there in Malaysia?
Huh?
What time is it right now in Malaysia?
It's 8:28 a.m. I've been up all night.
Oh my God. Good morning.
Good morning. It's
Good
Tuesday,
morning from the
so
future.
right, literally, literally. I'm actually about to go to sleep because I was so excited about this.
Oh my
Like, if I
God.
go to sleep now, I'm not gonna be up on time for the calls. I'm gonna be up all night. So now I'm gonna sleep.
Oh my God. Go rest, and y'all feel free to continue the conversation on the Telegram. If you loved this, I'm sure Michaela would appreciate, go into the shout out topic and share a reflection of like what you loved, and give some love to Michaela for blessing us with this genius today, this morning, whatever time it is, wherever you are.
Thanks y'all so much for being here.
Thank you,
Thank you for inviting
everybody.
me, Kat.
Yeah, thanks for coming. All right, y'all. We have another guest workshop on Friday with Nike. That's Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll see y'all there and see you in the Telegram and the in between.